You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be reviewing Flash number 796. And I have loved almost everything that Jeremy Adams has done on The Flash since his run started, and have spent 2 years begging people, especially Wally West fans, to buy and read this book. It's a shame that by the time a lot of people jumped on the trolley, it was already too late. And I really do wish that DC would pull their collective heads out of their collective asses and announce that they were just joking that Cy Spurrier was taking over the book, because I think that Jeremy Adams' Flash Family Adventures beats Cy Spurrier's Cosmic Horror every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Now, the fact that sales have gone up since Adams' 1 Minute War story has started, it's great. But in the end, it almost feels like pouring salt on the wound, since that can't and won't change things. However, it's still great to go out with a bang, right? Unfortunately, it kills me to say this, but I think this finale was the weakest issue of this 1 Minute War event. I'll get into that in a second. Before asking you, if you already haven't, subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications, and please let me know what you think of Flash number 796, the finale to the 1 Minute War, in the comments below, and let me know what you think of Jeremy Adams' Flash book in general. So let's kick into this. Flash number 796, of course, is written by Jeremy Adams, with art by Roger Cruz, George Kambadais, and Fernando Pasarin. And I apologize if I butchered any of those names, but Jeremy Adams packs a lot into this issue. We ended the last issue with Wally finding himself on quote-unquote Planet Flash amongst the characters who died in the awful Heroes in Crisis story by Tom King. Now, if you like Heroes in Crisis, well, first off, you ain't no friend of mine, but if you want to argue with me that it wasn't as bad and broken a story that I believe it was, the fact that DC is still trying to fix things 4 years after it ended is pretty much exhibits A through Z for me. Now, if you have been reading this run, you know this isn't the first time Jeremy Adams has gone back and fixed things. In his Flash Annual, Adams cleaned what remaining blood was on Wally's hands, and I was good with that. So, you would think that I'd be good with Adams going back again to make sure that all the characters who died at the Sanctuary are alive and kicking again. But I just don't know. While it's nice to see Lagoon Boy and Commander Steel and the rest back, I don't know that it was needed here. I don't know if I really had to see it at the end of the 1 Minute War. Plus, things have to be fudged a bit, with Roy and what's going on with him. And also, where the hell is Solstice? And who the hell was that Green Lantern who died in Heroes in Crisis but was never revealed? I want to know. It does lead, though, to a nice bit where we find out that Wally told Gold Beetle pretty much to save everyone. But, she couldn't do it with Roy because he was too close. And it just gets fudged a bit to make it work. But it's fine. It's a nice thing that Jeremy Adams is doing. But I could have, in my head canon, made the idea that they would have come back with the end of Death Metal. And seriously, if Lagoon Boy showed up in another book, I don't think that many people are going to argue, oh, well, what happened here? What happened there? You just assume, okay, things change, things fix. But besides making all that right, Adams uses Planet Flash characters, and Gold Beetle especially, as a MacGuffin here. Barry, Jay Garrick, and the rest of the Flash family are battling the Fraction and need a distraction. Well, boom, here comes Team Planet Flash to cause one. They're the distraction. Of course, this gives us some time to suddenly find out that the big bad Admiral Vel Anthro is an organic. He doesn't need the harnesses. He's actually a speedster, which makes him have to kill his own soldiers, which then gives the space and time to allow Wally to go mano a mano with him and shove him into a battery that Kid Flash and Impulse told him about, so that everything's supercharged, and it's the last piece of the puzzle to finally let the whole book become share, turn back time, and send everyone back 1 minute so that all of this never happened. Now, I'm not going to tell you that some of the things weren't clever. The way that Jeremy Adams gets rid of Vel Anthro, but because he is actually a speedster who's out of time, he ends up kind of disappearing to his guys, the remaining guys, and they get weirded out thinking something's up with this planet Earth, and they head back to their home planet. So it does end up kind of tying a bunch of the things together. I said in a pretty clever way, though I think by the end, I'm like, the Fraction are still out. They're just going to go to the next planet. They're going to destroy everything else. They're just not going to do it to our Earth. So being a self-centered guy, I'm fine with that. So time travel stories, there's always going to be paradoxes and loopholes, especially when you add things like saving the dead from heroes in crisis. But again, I think that most readers can look the other way, because when these things happen, as long as it's done to make something better, to have our heroes win the day, I think that you can end up taking a lot of things with a grain of salt and go from there. However, time travel endings also, for me, they suck the feels out of this issue. I thought I'd have more emotions when Barry goes and finds Iris alive and well, proposes, all that, but I just didn't get the feels that I thought I would get. Now, don't get me wrong, it was very nice, but I was expecting more. And we also say goodbye to Wade, the kid that they ended up finding, and we get a Back to the Future, I like that name type of scene that all but confirms the obvious here, except for Linda, who must be preoccupied thinking about Haagen-Dazs and pickles to actually make that connection. It seemed very, very dim-witted of her to not sit there and say, oh my God, I think you might be our son in this whole multiversal time-traveling way. But she's just, oh, that's a nice name. Oh, we have an uncle named Wade as well. And even that gets a little convoluted. But the issue does end with the backyard barbecue, which is nice. And then Max Mercury and Impulse maybe going away for a while, which I didn't love that, but we'll see what that comes from and what goes on. But I just kept wondering things like, why didn't we find out what was going on with Jay the whole time? Like, why was he kind of frozen out and all that stuff? I want to know more and more about some of the things, and hopefully with the remaining issues, Jeremy Adams does at least tell us about that. But the art, it was a mixed bag. Some things looked really good. Some things felt very rushed. And I don't have any inside info here, but maybe things had to change. We have 3 artists on this book, which was very odd. All of a sudden we have that. Now, was it that you end up having somebody fall behind? I mean, we did have Roger Cruz on a bunch of these. It was a quicker schedule. Did he just fall behind? They had to call some things, or maybe things were changed. And if they were changed, maybe change because Jeremy Adams, since he is off the book now, wanted to, kind of swerve things over to how he wants to finish the run. Or maybe some of the things had to be set up for Cy Spurrier's run coming up. I don't know. It just felt odd to suddenly, have that many artists and have some things that did feel rushed. But overall, I'm giving Flash number 796 a 6.8 out of 10. I don't think that this was a horrible issue. I didn't hate it. I just felt like things were resolved too easily at the end. And because of that, the tension that opened the series disappeared quickly and resulted in those big moments falling a bit flat for me. I still think this book is one of the best books of the past couple years. And I also think that maybe I expected more from Jeremy Adams because this was one of the best books of the last couple of years. But saying all that, 6.8, yeah, it was disappointing. I didn't hate it. But really, what I want to tell everybody is, please, let's all buy and read Jeremy Adams' upcoming Green Lantern book if you like this whole Flash run. Because you need to tell DC that he is a guy that we like to read stories from. And if they do get that idea, hopefully they'll continue having him on books. And who knows, maybe one day he'll even be able to come back and do more Wally West and the Flash family sometime down the line. And that's what I really do want. So yeah, he has gained and earned my support through whatever. And so I'm going to be jumping on that Green Lantern book, and I hope that a lot of people do as well. But that is the review. I know that some people might be upset that I didn't like it as much as they did, but that's kind of the nature of this. This is just me personally. I have my reasons. You have yours, and I would love to give 10 out of 10s to everything. It's just not everything's perfect. So with that, let me know what you think. about the issue, and we'll discuss things that maybe you'll open my eyes to a bunch of things that I could say, you know what, it is better than what I thought. That's the hope and dreams of all of this. But thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, subscribe, like, enable, and comment, all of that jazz. But I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.